In the heart of the city's most luxurious residential complex, Green Aura Apartments, everything looked like it came out of a catalog. Each building was perfectly aligned, balconies identical, and even the flower pots followed a uniform design. Every child wore branded shoes, every dog had a GPS tag, and every smile felt programmed. It was order, pure, polished order. But even in this manicured perfection, there was a shadow, a small, unremarkable corner of the park, where no one ever sat. Not because it was dirty, not because it was dark, but because something felt wrong. There stood a tree, not too old, not too big, not even scary to look at, just strangely quiet. Even when the wind blew across the garden, this tree's leaves fluttered on their own rhythm, never in sync with the rest, as if they were whispering to someone, or something. The first incident happened on a seemingly normal morning. Arpita, the resident welfare secretary, was out on her usual walk. She was a woman of precision. Every step timed, every call calculated. But that day, maybe out of fatigue, or maybe out of some subtle pull, she sat beneath that tree. The bench under the tree was circular, made of polished stone, cool to the touch even under sunlight. She placed her phone to her ear, speaking briskly with a contractor about society renovations. Her tone was confident, her words measured. But then, something shifted.
That 2 million commission is in my account. Don't tell anyone.
A moment of silence followed. Then she blinked, looked around in confusion, like waking from a trance. She cut the call abruptly and stood up as if the bench had burned her. She didn't look back at the tree. Later that day, she proposed installing a CCTV right above the tree. Said it was a blind spot. But the recordings always glitched. Every time someone passed by the tree, the footage went white for exactly 3 seconds, only when the tree was in frame. A few days later, another incident. Aryan, 11 years old, playing in the park with his mother nearby. She sat on a bench, scrolling through her phone. Aryan wandered toward the tree. He walked slowly, curiously, almost like he was being drawn in. He sat on the same circular bench. His small hands rested beside him, and he stared at the leaves, fluttering, twitching, whispering. He didn't smile, he didn't move, he just watched. After 2 minutes, he stood up and calmly walked back to his mother. But something had changed in him. There was no mischief in his eyes, no childlike glow. He looked up at her and spoke softly. "You pushed Dad off the terrace, didn't you?" His mother froze. Her phone fell from her hand. She looked at him as if he were a ghost.
You pushed Dad off the terrace, didn't you?
Because that sentence was never spoken aloud. Not in the police report, not in front of family, not even whispered in the dark. But the tree had heard, and it had spoken, through the voice of an 11-year-old boy. After that, no one went near the tree. Even the dogs began to avoid that side of the garden, and every time someone got too close, their heart would race, like the truth inside them was climbing up their throat. One security guard, when asked to trim the branches, refused outright. He was pale, sweating, terrified.
I stood near it, and I could feel something pulling the words out of me. Not from my mouth, from inside.
No one died, no one disappeared. There were no ghosts, no shadows, no blood. Just one tree that knew the truth, a truth it refused to let stay buried. One by one, people broke, not from fear, but from the weight of their own confessions. They tried to cut it down, but every contractor found a reason to quit. Every time the saw came close, it jammed. Every time someone touched the trunk, they pulled their hands back like they'd touched a burning wire. Now, the tree remains, not feared, but avoided. And if you ever find yourself standing alone under a tree, and the wind is still, but the leaves move, listen closely. Maybe it's your own voice whispering back at you, saying what you've buried the deepest.